Hi everyone, it's Hope Yoder with Embellish, a division of RNK Distributing, and I wanted to show you some cool features in Embellish Maker Software. Now, what we're going to talk about today is probably going to be a series of videos, and this will be the first one talking about the Auto Digitizing Wizard. And so before we go into the software, I want to talk about the types of images that this icon works with. So first of all, let me just show you in the software here. We'll go to a new page. And when I do that, under the Create window, we have two auto wizards. The Auto Digitizing Wizard, which takes clip art or line art, and it magically turns it into embroidery thread stitches. So we're going to be talking about what type of artwork do you need for that to work the best. So I'm on the internet, just on Google, and let me show you, let's start with bad, decent, and the best type of artwork to get. So before we get started, I wanted to say, think about a coloring book page. All right, now keep that in mind. Let's say I wanted to do cats, and I type in cat images. This is not the best way to find a cat image, but let's just say I go and I type in cat images and I search, and then I come up to the top and I click on the word images to filter out shopping for cats. Now, while these cats are adorable, none of these are going to work well with our Auto Digitizing Wizard because they're like a photograph. And the program's not designed to work with this. Oh my gosh, I could spend forever looking at these cute little cats. So rather than typing in cat images, I'm going to suggest you start with cat clip art images. Now, clip art usually is going to be colorful and it looks like a cartoon. But sometimes clip art can be very, very detailed. And again, the software is not made to turn a very detailed with lots of pixels into an embroidery file. So let's take a look at this. And let me show you what would probably work pretty darn good with our software. An image like this little cat right here, that's going to probably digitize really well because it's like a coloring book. All right, let me show you something that's probably not going to work very good, and that would be something like this. Well, this probably is going to work okay. Let me find a really poor example because I get asked this a lot during our events. And for instance, I don't know why this ended up in the clip art, but that has got so many pixels and details. It's really not going to be able to do a good job of digitizing, if at all. All right, so this is what clip art looks like. It usually involves some color. Now, something like this, that's going to digitize great. Something like this is got a lot of shading, and that may not be the best option to pick. So now let's filter even a step further, and when I'm looking for something, I usually type in, instead of clip art, I usually type in line art, and line art just simplifies the image even more. So watch what happens when I pick line art. Most of this is going to be black line art, and so almost all of these are going to digitize beautifully. So something like this, easy peasy for our program, or something like this, that's going to be easy to digitize. But sometimes in line art, you have a lot of shading and details. So for instance, something like this, it looks like a pencil drawing, and there's just a lot of little tiny pixelated dots. I don't think it's going to do a good job of digitizing that. So even if I love that cat, instead, I would probably pick something more simplified like this, or even better yet would be something like that. All right, so I hope that shows you what to look for. Cat line art images. Now let's talk about copyright free images. You might want to type in the word copyright free cat line art images. And when I search now, it's going to narrow the field to give me free clip art. Now, even going a step further, I'm going to click on the word tools. And again, I'm on Google Images. So I've clicked Google and then Images, Tools. And when I click Tools, a drop-down menu comes that says Usage Rights. And I am going to click on Labeled for Reuse. And that's going to filter it even more. Now you still need to be careful and do your due diligence to investigate. So with this, you can click on the photo that you like, and you're going to go to that web page and read about the copyright. And if it is okay for copyright, then you can download it by right-clicking and Save Image to Download folder. All right, so that's step one. Now, what I've done is I've got a copyright-free image, but let me show you another really good source where you can go to get copyright-free images. Now, you could subscribe to this PNG tree. There's a lot of different websites out there that you can get free PNG files. A PNG file is the background is removed. So you can see how we see the white and the gray check behind it. That's not going to be part of the image. That just represents there's no background. There's no white box behind it. And here's some thank you images, and I can just kind of keep going, but I won't take any more time. Just sign up for a website like this. They're going to want your email address and your name, and then you'll have access to download free images. And I've actually done that here. Let me find the image that I got from PNG Tree. So this is for me to use for personal use only. And that's a cute little image. Let me show you what I've done with that image. Now, sometimes not all of the elements in your image are going to digitize the way that you want them to, and I just want you to realize that. But you can do some simple editing. So part one of this video is going to show you how to get this image that I downloaded free from PNG Tree into my software. Now, I want to point out that this is not the place to use SVG files. The Auto Digitizing Wizard is for pixelated images that aren't vector. They're not SVGs. They're either a PNG or a JPEG or a bitmap type of an image. So step number one is click on the Auto Digitizing Wizard. And then step two is click on Select Image. And honestly, this is the hardest part. You have to figure out where did you send that download to. And so here I've put it in my folder. And when I click on it, a little preview comes up here and it shows me the image. So I make sure I have the right one. Now, if you download an image and you get something like this and you see a big black box, that means there was something in the image to protect against you downloading it. So that just means you can't use it. So you're going to have to find something that when you click on it, you see the preview. So now I'm going to click Open. And from here, honestly, I'm going to go to the next page, and I'm going to make sure I have the size the way that I want it. Now, do you notice it had PNG tree here? I can actually crop that out by just dragging that line up. And I don't really need to drag this one down because there was nothing in that area. But now when I do that, it's telling me my field is 8 by 2 and 0.96. So you need to be careful. What is your hoop size? So I have a hoop that's bigger than that. So I'm going to leave this just like it is. I'm going to select Next. And I'm not going to worry about any of this right now. Now, I know from doing this behind the scenes that the clothespins and the rope don't turn out well. So I'm just going to show you what happens. And right here, it's actually turning those pixelated images into an SVG or a clean outline. And the software, let me show you, when you change the tolerance to More, and then click Return on your keyboard. Higher tolerance gets rid of a lot of stuff, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go to a lower tolerance and see what happens. Click Update Outlines, and I think that looks a little more clear. So I am going to go ahead and select Next. I don't really worry about this screen very much. We can talk about this in another video, but I'm going to click Finish, and if you see the wheel spinning, I take my hands off of the keyboard and I don't do anything. All right, now I gotta say, click on 3D at the top. That looks pretty good. Now the rope didn't digitize real well, and the clothespins, they're okay, but it's not like what I thought. So stay tuned for the next video, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean up artwork, because sometimes the stitches are exactly like you imagine them or better, or sometimes you may need to do some fine editing. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to go from that to this finished file.